What's up pilots, and welcome to this unboxing video. I'm so excited to introduce you to brand new NYXTRONICS 6S V1 stack. It is made in Europe, in Lithuania. A well-designed quality product for you guys, for your happy flying. So let's waste no time and let's jump into it. Alright, so the stack comes in two boxes. One of them is for the ESC, another one is for the flight controller. So we're gonna start with the flight controller. By the way, the box is proper solid plastic, and that's good. So to keep your flight controller safe during the shipping. Inside the box we have a QR code. If you scan it with the mobile phone, you're gonna get into the manufacturer's webpage, so know more about the flight controller and ESC. This is the flight controller itself. We're gonna get back to it in a minute. Some foam protection and some other spare parts. So first of all, the pin-to-pin cable, which is really nice to have. Usually most of the flight controllers have this one, so you just plug one side in, another one goes into the ESC, and that's an easy way to connect your ESC and flight controller together. 4 bolts with the 4 nylon nuts, and what I like to mention is that these are huge. Look at this. So there is a plenty of space to stack everything you need, and there's going to be more space. But the interesting thing is that they are sending those bolts and nuts with the nylon inside. If you will see, there is a nylon inside. It's not like regular plastic nut just to cover and tighten your stack, but this nylon holds tight the whole stack. If you screw it on, you know there is a lot of vibrations going on in the FPV, and it's a really good idea to use this nylon nut, so everything is tight and secure. Otherwise, you might get vibrations and fall off from the sky. Let's check the FC now. The FC looks really nice. You have 30 by 30 mounting holes already with the silicone shock absorbers or rubber grommets, whatever you like, you can call them. Sometimes some of the pilots struggle to get them in. If you're not using dental floss, there is a trick with the dental floss to get them in fast, so it's very nice to have them pre-installed. There is an arrow facing the front, so you know where is the front. You don't need to guess or check on Betaflight. Of course, you can mount the flight control any way you like, any position you like. You just need to manually change that in Betaflight. We have USB plug, which is the USB-C. Also, we have the plug for the digital system. The flight controller is running STM32F405 microcontroller. There is a built-in barometer, which is really nice, which is DSP310. Next to it, you can find the gyro ICM42688, and this gyro is the latest version from the ICM, and the gyro has the dedicated power supply for flights, for smooth flying. You can see all the pads all around the flight controller, and I would like to start with one really nice thing. So you have VTX pads right over here. There is a positive ground, your VTX and transmit pad. If you flip the flight controller, you can see there is additional 3 pads. So there is one for the 9 volt, there is a central pad, and there is a 5 volt. If you bridge the central pad with the 9 volt, you're gonna get 9 volts into this pad. If you're gonna do the opposite, bridge the central pad with the 5 volt, you're gonna get 5 volts for your VTX. So let's say if this pads, for instance, were just 9 volts and you're running 5 volt VTX, you will need to find another 5 volt pad, which is right over here, let's say. So you hook up the cable, and you get it all across the flight controller to your VTX. So to keep everything nice and clean and solid build, you have two options right over here. If you want, you can use 9 volt depending on your VTX. So you can use 9 volts or 5 volts. That is really nice to keep your build clean. Next to the VTX pads, we have SDA, SCL, 5 volt, ground, transmit and receive pads. These are dedicated for your GPS. If your GPS is running compass, you can hook up the SDA, SCL pads, and you're gonna have a running compass on your GPS. If not, you can just pause them and use those 4 pads to hook up your GPS. The interesting thing that the manufacturers did the same as VTX, they did the same with the receiver pads right over here. So we have ground, positive, transmit and receive pads. And if you want to run your receiver from the USB, you can bridge these 2 pads. So the central one and the pad for V5. If you want to run your receiver from the USB and boot it up as soon as it gets power from the USB. If your receiver, let's say, needs a 5 volt, you can bridge the central pad and 5 volt, and you're gonna get 5 volts on this pad for your receiver. Next to it, we have the ground, the positive for the camera and camera pad. There is a 5 volt next to it, and ground and transmit and receive. You are 3 if you would like to hook up something else. Of course, if you're running LEDs, there is a dedicated LEDs pad with the 5 volt and ground for it. If you're flying some old FreeSky or some old other receivers, there is a PPM pad for it. You will find buzzer positive and buzzer negative right over here if you would like to add it on your aircraft. So everything is nicely and clean build of the FC. So the manufacturers did a good job. You will find the big pads. So if you're a beginner, that's very handy for you to have the big pads. If you're advanced pilots, it's easy as well for you to hook up and do all the soldering jobs. You have all the necessary pads in here to run your 5 volt or 7 to run your 5-inch or 7-inch quads, long range quads. Everything you need you will find on this flight controller. As much as I know, the manufacturers, they are planning to release the stack which is capable up to 8S. So if you would like to know more about it, I will leave the link in the video description. You can go over there and check it out. And now let's check the ESC next. Alright guys, so this is our ESC that comes in the same box as the FC. Inside we have our QR code to get into the manufacturer's webpage. And this is our NYXTRONICS ESC. Looks really good. Everything looks really solid, but we're gonna get back into a minute. Some foam protection and some spare parts. So we have our power cable, which is 100mm length. I'm so happy they are sending a little bit longer ones, so you can shorten as much as you want depending on your build. They already pre-soldered the ends of it. This is the 14 AWG thickness. It comes with the standard XT60mm plug to plug into your battery. The next one is the capacitor, a very important part of your build. I'm definitely suggest you to use these things to run your components, to save your components, to avoid all the sparks from batteries and so on. This one is 35 volts, 1000 UF capacitor. On the right side you can see the shorter one is the negative side, and on the right side the long one is the positive. And now let's check the ESC. So this ESC has the 30 by 30 mounting holes. it is 6S 50 amps and the firmware is AM32. I think the firmware is one of the go-to these days since the BLHeli stopped their firmware update. All around the ESC you have your motor wire pads. You can solder them on top of it or on the bottom, so that's a nice thing from the manufacturers depending on your build, so you can decide which side to use. You have MOSFETs over here, current sensor, and your capacitors. Everything looks really nice and solid. In here on these pads you can see in the center those holes which are designed to put in the capacitor, so you just put it in, solder, and you're done with it. Everything looks really solid. This pin is to hook up the flight controller with the pin-to-pin connector. So guys, this is all about this stack. It looks really nice and a solid, proper job done by the manufacturers. The beginners can use it according to the big pads, and the layout is suitable for the advanced pilots as well. You have everything you need in the flight controller. The ESC is powerful and enough to lift up your 5 or 7 inch quad. And the main thing is that this stack costs only 64 euros. Only 64 euros for such a quality components. If you want more information, I will leave the link of the webpage of the manufacturers right in the description. And happy flying to you guys.